welcome to another video. In today's video we're doing my top 5 mixing tips for vocals while I'm doing this beat. So let's get started.
All eyes on me. Head first in the scene, got a bone that just needs to be picked. With the cats in my screen, putting gold in the teeth while they're up in the street and they're pissing they money on lean. It's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see they're a joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. Well, most of these jokers are
Okay, so this is mono.
these jokers are practically broke.
Bonus tip before we start: make your vocals mono if they are mono. So if you record with one mic, they're gonna be mono. They're gonna blend better in the mix if you add your source as mono instead of make it stereo, which is not. So that's before we start. Tip number 1: separate your EQs. And what I mean is have one EQ to cut.
Broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumbling shit in the culture we love and will spread to the day that I'm finally dead. Pass me a pad and a pen and I'll give you a lesson on having some fucking respect. I got nothing to show for the shit that I wrote, but a couple of views at the back of the shed and a number of minutes that I'll be getting to finish another version of my lyrics at the top of my limits. Will you be ready to listen to all shit that I've written about diminishing emotions under any condition that I've been going through by living on my life as seen? No bullshit, don't got plan B. No, by the way that I flow at the top of my lungs when I jump on the stage, you'll see all eyes on me. Eyes on me, on the mic I'm free, all eyes on me.
And have another one for boosting.
Eyes on me, it's all I wanna see, all I me. Head first in the scene, got a bone that just needs to be picked. With the cats in my screen, putting gold in the teeth while they're up in the street and they're pissing they money on lean. It's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see they're a joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. Well, most of these jokers are practically broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumbling shit in the culture we love and will spread to the day that I'm finally dead.
And then you can see what's need to be done in the previous cue while boosting.
Finally dead. Pass me a pad and a pen and I'll give you a lesson on having some fucking respect. I got nothing to show for the shit that I wrote, but a couple of views at the back of the shed and a number of minutes that I'll be getting to finish another version.
So before,
About bitches and money, well, most of these jokers are practically broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumbling shit in the culture we love and will spread to the day that I'm finally dead. Pass me a pad and a pen and I'll give you a lesson.
so they already start to be more present and more clear, and that's what the cue should do, and not change the whole sound dramatically. And that's a big mistake. I see people now starting mixing that they do big boost, big cuts, and they change the tone, they change the artist, they change the vocals. And if you're mixing for someone else, 99% they're gonna tell you that you did something wrong. So be careful with EQ. Tip number 2: use 2 compressors instead of 1, and do a small amount of compression in each one. And the reason is you can get a better result instead of using only one. And let me show you. So let me turn off the second EQ I have, and I'm gonna add the first compressor. I'm gonna use 4:1 ratio, around the attack. I want it around there. I'm gonna see with the vocals and the release. It's good. I don't want it too fast or too slow, so I'm gonna play with the release and also with attack.
Pick with the cats in my screen, putting gold in the teeth while they're up in the street, and they're pissing they money on lean. It's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see they're a joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. While most of these jokers are practically broke, which is fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumble shit in the culture we love, and we'll spread to the day that I'm finally dead. Pass me a pad and a pen, and I'll give you a lesson on having some fucking respect. I got nothing to show for the shit that I wrote, but a couple of views at the back of the shed, and a number of minutes that I'll be getting to finish another version of my lyrics at the top of my limits. Will you be ready to listen to all the shit that I've written about diminishing emotions on the run?
So that's the first compressor. Then I'm gonna activate my second EQ.
Under any condition that I've been going through by living on my life as seen. No bullshit, don't got plan B. No, by the way that I flow at the top of my lungs when I jump on the stage, you'll see all eyes on me. Eyes on me.
So after the compression, some boosting I did before, it's not necessary now, and because the compressor brings up what I needed. So yeah, do an EQ, cut what you don't need, add a compressor, do 3 to 4 dB of reduction, and be careful with the attack and release. Play with them, see what's working, what's not. Add another EQ, boost what you need, and then add another compressor. If you have different options, like a Logic stock compressor, it gives different color, and use that as well. So for this, I'm gonna go 3-to-1 ratio, slower attack. I want the release there. I might go fast attack with this one. I'm gonna see now.
Yeah, all eyes on me. Head first in the scene, got a bone that just needs to be picked with the cats in my screen, putting gold in the teeth while they're up in the street, and they're pissing they money on lean. It's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see they're a joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. While most of these jokers are practically broke, which is fucked in the head. Said I'll be getting to finish another version of my lyrics at the top of my limits. Will you be ready to listen to all the shit that I've written about diminishing emotions under any condition that I've been going through by living on my life as seen? No bullshit, don't got plan B. No, by the way that I flow at the top of my lungs when I jump on the stage, you'll see all eyes on me.
Tip number 3. If you have harsh vocals, like it's a voice of the artist that it's harsh, use a de-esser at the beginning of your chain. I recommend the first de-esser that you use is a wider band and not a single Q band that compressing single frequencies. Just do a gentle de-essing on the high end of the vocals. So
they money on lean, it's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see the rich cause they only be talking about bitches and money. While most of these jokers are practically broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumble shit in the culture we love, and we'll spread to the day that I'm finally dead. Pass me a pad and a pen, and I'll give you a lesson on having some fucking respect. I got nothing to show for the shit that I wrote, but a couple of views at the back of the shed, and a number of...
Much better now, right? And then after your second compressor, add another one.
And another one.
And this time we're gonna use a tighter Q. So we're gonna find the specific frequency that make the SS harsh, and we're gonna bring it down. So I'm starting with the filter.
In a number of minutes that I'll be getting to finish another version of my lyrics at the top of my limits. Will you be ready to listen to all shit? Well, most of these jokers are practically broke, which is fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumble shit in the culture you'll see all lies.
And after that you might need another EQ just for boosting the high frequency.
All eyes on me. Eyes on me. On the mic I'm free. All eyes on me.
Tip number 4. If you're gonna use Autotune, add it first on the chain and then start mixing. The reason is you need to EQ and compress the Autotune signal and not the original signal, so you're gonna have a better result. And let me show you. I like wave tunes real time. We're on E flat minor. Let's see. I start with the speed and the note transition at the very fast setting, and then I'm tweaking it.
Scope. Don't get too close, you might see the joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. Well, most of these jokers are practically broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level, I'm on a mission to meddle with any threat that put mumbling shit in the culture we love, and we'll spread to the day that I'm finally dead. Pass me a pen and a pen, and I'll give you a lesson on having some fuck to respect. I got nothing.
Cool. And finally, tip number 5. Compress the main vocals with the back vocals in a separate bass and glue them together. Let me show you. So I'm gonna add the backing vocals. I'm gonna add a very simple EQ and a very simple compression just to get them work well. And I'm gonna throw a reverb as well, just to get the feeling. So this is a not good example because I add the reverb as an insert. When I'm doing mixing, I send it to a bass instead of adding it as an insert. So keep that in mind as well. So after mixing these two, what I'm gonna do is send them to a bass. So this is our bass with both in it.
Fucking copyright, and it's then that I crafted a strategy to always get back up from a tragedy and never put my head down when I face the.
And what I'm gonna do is compress them together. So I'm gonna use medium attack, I guess. Not that fast, not that slow.
When I face the pace, I gotta chase to away from insanity. I won't lose. No more take your shit for my views. Proudly walk a life in my shoes. All this toxic be lighting my fuse. So pack your shit, vacate vamoose. I be getting to settle up in a lesson in metal, but now I'm thinking that it's all in my head. I didn't grow up with nothing, but I still wanna be something, man. If you thinking that I'm bluffing, better watch where you tread. I got too much pride, not much room. Still gon' get this stream. Step aside one more time. You know when I start to rhyme, all eyes on me. All eyes on me. Head first in the scene, got a bone that just needs to be picked with the cats in my screen. Putting gold in the teeth when they're up in the street, and they're pissing they money on lean. It's a sight to be seen with a scope. Don't get too close, you might see the joke, cause they only be talking about bitches and money. Well, most of these jokers are practically broke, just fucked in the head. Passing the critical level.
So that's all for today. I hope you like this kind of videos. Let me know if you want me to do more like this. I have a bunch of mixing tricks and tips for vocal, for instruments, for drums, for 808s. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all this good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Produced by Smile.